Good morning, everybody. I am so excited to be here today and to be ready to talk to one of my authors. I'm about to find him right now and invite him in. He is an amazing photographer and he's an amazing author. And we're going to talk a lot about his book today that he just finished writing the first draft of. And I'm going to bring him on. We're adding him. He wants to be in the video. I want him to be in the video. He's going to be in the video. It's going to happen any minute. And there he is. Yay! We're really technical people. We can do this, right? Like, don't you love how I was like, forget the test. Let's just do it.
It will work. We will find a way.
I was going off your energy. I was like, what would Jeremy tell me to do? He'd be like, just do it. Just go for it. Well, good to see you. You're in your sunny backyard.
I am. It's sunny in San Francisco in February. Go figure.
And you're safely ensconced from your children, running out and asking you for something.
Yeah, my boy is at school. The other one is with mom. Thank you, mom, for helping out. And yeah, we have a little bit of time.
A little bit of time. Tell everybody your name. Tell everybody what you do. And I'm going to ask you a couple questions about your fabulous book you've been writing.
Awesome. My name is Jeremy Cortez. I am an author, soon-to-be speaker. I do marketing, branding, and creative directing. I do a little bit of photography. I do a little bit of everything. Jack of all trades, master of some.
Love. Someone just said that to me yesterday too. And you are the father of what, a 10-week-old baby?
You know, yeah, I have a 3-year-old, and then we have 10 weeks. He was born in November of last year, so he's starting to smile now, and he's starting to. I love that kid, but yeah, 2 kids, 2 boys.
So I think what we need to make clear here is that you're on chapter 12 of your book, and your baby's 10 weeks old. So when you came to me and you asked me this key question, you said, I'm about to have a baby in 2 weeks. Do I start the book now, or do I wait till the baby is born? I'm like, do it now before the kid is mobile.
It was such an eye-opener. I'm like, that's a great point. And I mean, with everything, with the message that the book says, it's like I have to practice what I preach. And knowing that I had you to help me throughout this, it was just, screw it, let's just see what happens. And we did it.
And we did sessions with the baby. And he was
absolutely,
he was phenomenally helpful. He just would when we hit the wall and couldn't come up with a concept, which was rare, there would be like a lot of fussing. He'd be like, "Get on with it already, like, please." But your book is about. Should I reveal a little bit about what your book is about?
I was in New Orleans for Dad 2.0 Summit. I told everybody about it, so let's just go for it.
Okay, so your book is about basically, if you can parent, then you can run a business. Is that correct?
That's correct. I've been a serial entrepreneur ever since I was 18 years old, and it's like I'm out of the matrix. I took the red pill and I never looked back, and it's always been my philosophy that I've always wanted to have businesses. Well, a lot of my friends would look at me and say, Jeremy, I wish I could do that. I wish I went to business school. I wish I could do what you do, but I don't have the experience. I don't have the education. I don't have whatever it is. And I would look at them and I said, but you're a parent, you're a parent, so much about business, but you don't call it the same thing. So this book is really just showing the parallels between what you go through as a parent and what you go through as a business. You go through the same thing.
You do. It's very true.
And I wanted to remove the illusion that people are unqualified, because in reality, as a parent, what we're looking for is that real life experience. Education is one thing, picking up a book and then applying it is one thing, but if you already have the mechanics, if you already have the muscle memory, you just have to see that it's just one thing versus another. And so what you call parenting, I would call negotiations. What you would call, this, I would call HR. And so this book basically just says, look, you're a parent, you have all the business experience you need. And if you have an itch, if you have a desire, if you have something that makes you want to just start a business for whatever reason, you don't need a degree. You have a degree in life. You have a degree in parenting, and that will propel you much further than a business degree when it comes to actually creating a successful business.
Well, what I loved about, first of all, I've read a lot of business books. I've had business coaches, and I learned more about running a business in helping you, coaching you through this book than I have through anything else, because you've made it so simple. You're like, find your joy. You're like, don't overcomplicate it. It's okay to, when you fail, get back up again. It's like, we can't give up on parenting, and we also have all these preconceived notions about how it's going to go. And our kids are like, no, that's not how it's going to go. And then we have to, we were laughing about, in your book, you talk about before your kids are born, you and your wife really said, we're not going to do this and we're not going to do that. We're not going to do this. And it's like, no, that's never going to happen. And that's like in a business. You can say, I'm going to do this. You can have your values, right? And you talk a lot about values. Yes. Tell me, do you think that, what drove you to do this book? Is it the love of business, the love of parenting? What was it?
Great question. I wanted to provide an opportunity to show people what's possible. I do this all the time. We all do it, where we shortchange ourselves, mm-hmm. where we say we can't do this because, and I'm, as much as I do it to myself, I always look at this, and social media and life make things seem harder than it really is. And again, I've been a business owner forever, and I think I will always be a business owner. And my thought process was, look, what if it was actually simpler than you think? What if it was easier than you think? What if we were able to create the mentality that we are capable and that we've already done it? We just didn't know it. And that's what I wanted to do. I wanted to provide people with an excuse to do it. Right. I wanted people to say, wow, I actually am more qualified. Wow, I actually do know how to do that. But so that was what it was at my core. I want to see people, and it's not just about starting a business. I'll concede that not everybody should have their own business, but I will say that people should at least entertain the option. Mm-hmm. Don't discount it because you've never done it. I would say go ahead and do it, and if it's not for you, then it's not for you, but at least you'll know, and you don't have that itch anymore of coulda, woulda, shoulda, and then go through the rocking chair, process of, years from now, I could have done it when, I should have done it when. Right. It's like, no, do it. Know that you don't know that it is or is not for you. And then by the time you're done, you can say, wow, I'm glad I went through it. Now I know I don't have to go that route anymore. Or I know that this is what I want to do in life. Well, what I love about your book is it demystifies all these concepts, like you were saying, that make us so fearful. And you've talked to so many parents, so many parents and so many business owners, and you've seen them build incredible $1 million businesses off of cake or off of handbags, that they just loved. They loved it. So they just said, why not? And they didn't get caught up in all the, I love when you talk about how everybody has to have the perfect website. They have to have the perfect logo. And next thing you know, they have made no money. It's been a year. And then they're like, oh, the business didn't work. Right. Yeah. What has been one of the biggest challenges in writing this book? Practicing what I preach. The writing a book, it's sort of like anything we do. So I talk about the hardships of running a business, the doubt, the fear, the rejection, the incapabilities. And guess what? Writing this book, I went through the same thing. And it's just this ritual that we all go through, where when we try something for the first time, whatever it is, we'll see how we'll go through the fear, the anxiety, the why we can't do it, and then we dip our toe into the water and say, wow, this is not that bad.
Mm-hmm.
I think, and writing is an art, and artists go through some of the hardest things in life because artists' job is to expose themselves. What do I mean by that? An artist's job is to follow their calling and publicly walk that path, knowing that they will be judged. That is an artist's job. And this book was no different. I mean, I went through so many ups and downs. I would have the highs and joys of, God, that was such a kick-ass chapter too. Oh my goodness, can I write another good chapter? Can I one-up it? Can I one-up that? And by the time you're done, it's like, I hope this is even good. I hope that people even read this thing. So that was kind of the hardest part, getting out of my own way.
Mm-hmm.
I think that in the beginning, I had a lot of questions about how we would do it. Do I even know if I have enough material?
Mm-hmm.
And, you brought all of this out of me, and a lot of the fears that I had coming in, you kind of put to bed, and it was a lot easier. But then I had to go and deal with myself, and and then sitting in a room with a blank piece of paper or a blank screen, and it's like, okay, how do I start? How do I start this one? How do I make this one clever? And so to make a long story long, I think that the biggest challenge for me was to just trust that whatever I was going to write was what was supposed to be written.
Mm-hmm.
Trust that it will be good. Trust that it will be valuable.
Mm-hmm. And over the process of this, you've realized that you can also have like a pocketbook that can go along with this, because you did end up with so much information that you can kind of make it something that someone can just carry around in a small, in a tiny way. And so there's other options. And I really did look forward to getting your texts from your writing space almost on cue every single week saying, I got nothing. And I'm like, yes, you're brilliant. You have so much to say. I don't know. This chapter's going to suck. And then it would be great. That was a lot of fun.
The artist,
we had a lot of fun. And then I get the emojis and with your son in them and everything. What did you enjoy? Find something.
I know, right? Well, I enjoyed finishing. No,
you did. Oh, thank God, it's over.
I actually enjoyed the process. So I will say that I am a journeyman. What I mean by that is I enjoy the process. It's rare for me. It's rarely about the outcome. It's what happened in between me deciding to do it and the end product.
Mm-hmm.
And that's kind of just what life is, being a parent, you blink your eyes and they're born, you blink their eyes, they're talking, you blink your eyes, they're in college. And with this, I blink my eyes, I'm thinking about whether or not I'm going to be able to write when my son is born. So I blink my eyes and question whether or not I'm going to get any sleep. So I blink my eyes, I'm like, wow, I just finished my first draft. I enjoyed that process. And writing a chapter, it's interesting, is when you get into flow, when you just get into, once you get past the expectations that you have for yourself and you just be, and then you blink your eyes and you've got an entire chapter written, and it's like, where did the time go? What happened? It's and then you read it and it's like, who wrote this? It's like, damn, this is good stuff. And
that's good stuff.
Yeah, that was the process. That entire process, that love-hate relationship that you have with writing, with anything, with your craft, with parenting. I just being able to look back and just say, wow, that was gnarly. And it's like, when's round two?
Yeah. And I think that that you have a voice about you that's very humorous, cavalier. You kind of say it like it is, and I enjoyed making sure that was in there, right? Like,
Thank you.
don't try to be like everybody else, because you're not like anybody else. And how you are with your kids and how you are with your friends and how you are with your clients in photography and how you are with your marketing clients, it's all you, you know, and it needs to come out in the book, right? Because that's going to sell the book, that voice. What will readers gain? Like, what would you say the top 3 things that the readers of your book will gain as entrepreneurs, especially parents that are considering, that don't think they have enough time, that don't think they could do this, but they have this burning dream to do something? What would you say the 3 tips would be?
Great question. Number one, that business is not as complicated as it seems. One of my goals was to simplify business down to its core. And when you really look at what a business is, it's not that hard. It doesn't have to be. That's number one. Number two, business doesn't have to be so cookie cutter. What do I mean by that? Whenever I talk to parents who think about starting businesses, they think that they have to spend all this time on their business, that it will complicate their life, that it will they will have to sacrifice, they will have to do this, they have to do that. And it's like, look, a business can be whatever you want it to be. You can spend as much time or as little time as you want. You know, it's now the results will vary. And I think where we put that cookie cutter label on business is when we start creating expectations that we see in social media.
Right.
You know, we see people who are the overnight successes, and we see how they were great, and it's like, okay, I'm starting, I need to get there. No. It's far from it. And I think that I would say that the second thing would be business can be whatever you want it to be. It could be the experience that you have in business can be whatever you want it to be. And especially as parents, you know, we have a finite amount of time that is our own. And I guess that kind of segues into the third thing, which is you can have businesses and have kids. You can have your cake and eat it too. It is possible. And for anybody who tells me that they can't, I challenge them to message me personally and give me an excuse why, and I will gladly debunk it.
I agree.
I think those are my 3.
Those are great. Those are great 3 tips to leave the reader with, the viewers with, and also the reader when they get your fantastic book. And I know that my 12-year-old will often try to do, profit sheets with me randomly in the car, So you got, how many clients did you get last month? And she'll have to do the math. And were there any expenses that went with that? Yeah, actually there were. And then I finally go, wait a minute, I don't want to have this conversation with you. How was school? She's like, no, it's more interesting to talk about you building your business. So they care, and they're influenced, and they're excited, and what a role model we are of opportunity, and that we can do it, especially if we're sane, if we're not like losing our crap half the time we're running a business. I think your book's going to be incredibly successful. I know your book's going to be incredibly successful. We're heading into the second draft. You still have a chapter 12 you're delivering to me today, and I'm going to put you on the spot, and then we're going into the second draft, and then you're going to start looking for publishers and finding the right home for this book, and I know it's going to be a big success. Is there anything you want to plug before we get off, or which part of your business? You have many businesses. Which part would you like people to get in touch with you about?
It's kind of in line with the book. So people who are viewing this, I hope this was fun. I hope that you got just a little tidbit of information. If any of this really resonates with you, message me. I'd love to have a conversation. If you had an idea about a business, but you didn't know how to get started, I'd love to just talk, especially if you're a parent. Being a parent, I kind of crossed over the line, and I see the world in a different place. I see parents in a different light, and I even watch movies. And whenever they talk about the parent child connection. I'm like, yeah, I totally get that now. I'm like, yeah, I would run into a burning, so at the very least, I want to be a resource for parents. If you have this desire to want to start a business, if you even have just a curiosity of wanting to start a business, or if you have a business and you want to take it to the next level, I'd love to just have a conversation. There's no expectations, there's no selling, there's just let's just talk.
Right.
And then let's see where that goes. And that's kind of how this happened. This whole book happened. It was, well, I've never written a book before. I went a different route once and I didn't like it. And let's just see what happens. And now I have a book. So I'd invite people to just say, look, if you're curious, let's have a conversation. My door is completely open. You can Facebook me and we'll definitely start something.
Absolutely. And you did a book in 12 weeks, which is amazing. And people can start a business in 12 weeks. You can't, make a baby in 12 weeks, but they change a lot in 12 weeks. So, well, thank you so much. You've been an incredible joy to work with. And I know all your business enterprises are going to continue to boom. And I look forward to being with you along that road. And I'll speak to you later.
Awesome.
Okay.
Thank you
Have
very
a good
much.
day. Bye-bye.
Thank you.